Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vine Panther Presents. Today, we shall be discussing The Last of Us, Season 1, Episodes 4 and 5, because the Super Bowl was coming on Sunday. HBO said, we're going to push this thing to Friday, which is what they should do, actually, in the future. This whole Sunday thing, not really a good idea. But we'll talk about these two episodes, what we saw, what we didn't see, whatever's. How does this mean? What does it mean to the future? We'll talk about that. Let's start with Chris. What did you think of 4 and 5, Chris?
Just collectively 4 and 5, or
Yes.
am I going in order? Okay.
Collectively.
Okay. Collectively, really good set of episodes. Especially seeing the relationship between Joe and Ellie, and seeing Joel loosen up a whole lot. You see Ellie not only loosening up around Joel, but also kind of being a kid. You know what I mean? In Apocalypse, it's almost impossible to be a kid, even if you are. So so when episode 4, when we saw them with the puns book, I thought that was really charming. Which in the game you can go on like forever. I don't know in the video game version, it like goes on forever and ever. I'm like, damn, how many jokes did they put into the game? Because you could just keep pressing X, and then it's like another game. It was another joke. It says, why did the blah, 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 blah. And he's like, why? And then, yeah, it's just like, because it just keeps going on. So I thought that was cool. I also like the idea that you could tell that Ellie, this is not the first time, obviously, Ellie has handled a gun, as demonstrated in front of the mirror. Like, she knew how to take the magazine out. She wasn't a pro at it, but she was able to kind of use the gun and whatnot. I love the idea that Joel was upset in the sense that not necessarily that Ellie had to use the gun, but he's a protector. He is a protector, and he did that with Tess. He was supposed to, matter of fact, he even did that with Tommy. He did that with pretty much everyone. And here he is struggling on the ground with, I guess the guy's name was Brian that was choking him out. And a 14-year-old girl had to save his life, when it's supposed to be the other way around. And you could saw the humility. And I think that speaks to Pedro Pascal's like greatness as far as acting goes, when he just when you saw him breaking down, and him just, I mean, not really breaking down, but him just being like, you shouldn't have done that. And I'm sorry. Like, it's like that, that's not the role here. I'm supposed to protect you. You're not supposed to do that. But since you did protect me, let me show you how to really use a gun. So I like that moment. He would have never did that with his actual daughter, with Sarah or whatnot. So I like that kind of change here that you see. Yeah, so I pretty like that. I pretty much like that. We were introduced to a new character that doesn't even exist in the game. Kathleen. I'll say what I liked about the idea of these raiders, I should say, right? These rebellion, the rebellion that went to rebel over Fedra. I liked the fact that, unlike the game, there are a bunch of NPC characters where they don't have any backstories. You just know they just rebelled against Fedra, and now they're just going crazy, and you just got to shoot them. This one, they actually put a story into what happened, in a sense, right? So that's what I like. However, the issue I had, in particular with Kathleen, is the fact that her decisions that she's making, because most of it is all about revenge, just the whole time I'm thinking like, okay, yes, your brother was the leader, but your brother's gone. I don't know why people are still following you. Like you got Jeffrey Pierce, who played Perry. He's the guy who voices Tommy in the game. The whole time I'm thinking like, dude, you should take over for her, because all this stuff was brand new for the show. So I was just thinking like, is he going to shoot her and be like, you stupid, you crazy? Like, no, like there's a freaking crater on the ground, and there's some rumbling. There's like the infected are in there, and that thing's going to erupt, which Fedra had under control, and you're not having it under control because you're all about revenge. However, I do understand why they're doing that with Kathleen. I won't say too much about it, but you'll see why that kind of comes full circles as far as consequences of your actions, because of someone that you love, right? hell, we saw that with we saw that with Henry. We saw that Henry, because he wanted to protect his brother and to save his life with leukemia, he was willing to give up this, this revolutionary leader, apparently. And the consequences of that somewhat kind of created this spiral into chaos that he obviously did not intend for. But the fact that he gave up the man, and now his psychotic younger sister is now taking over. Like now, like you're in Kansas City of the craziness of basically Mad Max, essentially. Yeah. So overall, I loved it. I mean, the whole thing with the game with Henry, and I knew it was coming. The whole thing with Henry and Sam. It was tough in the game, and I knew it was going to be even tougher in this one. I love the choice of making the kid deaf in this one with Sam. I thought that was a amazing choice, because now you created, not only is he really young, you made him even younger than even than in the game, but not only did you make him a young kid, but you also made him deaf. So that's even like another vulnerability on top of everything else. So he can't hear people coming or anything like that. I don't think he can even read lips, really. So it's like, I'm just thinking like, oh shit. So the stakes were very high. And but I don't know. Overall, shoot, Henry, aka, Coffee. We know him from Coffee from Your Honor. Great man, great actor. That kid was a great actor as well as Sam. I don't know where they found that little kid, but he should do other stuff in the future. Shout out to him. Overall, good episode. Glad to see the bloater. I was telling Jamani, I wasn't sure if we're going to see it, because the whole thing with the bloaters is that one of the things that he takes these big spores and he splurs them on folks. But this one, he just decapitates your ass, which he kind of does in the game too. Is a one-hit kill with him. You fight him. If he catches you, it is not like multiple hits. It's a one-hit kill. Like he grabs you and you see the sequence where he puts his fingers in your mouth and essentially like dislodges your whole face off from your jaw. And it's grotesque. So I was like, so when I saw the bloater, I'm like, is that what we're going to see? And we kind of saw it more in the distance, but I was like, fucking awesome. I was like, they kind of kept it. They didn't make it maybe as grotesque as in the game, but it was cool. And of course, it had to be the guy who voices Tommy for them to do that. He probably even asked like, hey, if I die, you got to give me a glorious death. So I would not doubt that. Overall, really good episode. I love that he had, Sam had that little magic pad thing. I had that as a kid. That thing was sick. That was a smart choice, because like, can you imagine how many notepads are really out there, and like, you know what I mean, and pins working, but now you give them a little magnet. I was like, smart. And
right, we'll give Kim.
Overall good episode. Yeah. See, I could go forever, man.
Kim, what are your thoughts?
Everything Chris said. Chris told the whole show. Both episodes. No, I'm just joking. No, I loved it. I cried so much again, because oh my gosh, I understand what he did, Henry did for his brother Sam. I totally get it. I would have done the same thing. It's his little brother. Like, he's an innocent child. So I was like, oh. And him being deaf, I think that was a really good touch to do. Because I did watch some recaps after I watched, and they were saying in the game that he's not deaf, he's 13, he's not 8. And so I thought that was really well done, because of course someone's 8 years old, they have their whole life ahead of them. So yeah, I would kill anyone to save my brother. You know what I mean? Like I got why he did it, but at least he was remorseful. That was the thing. He did have remorse for what he did, but would he have taken back what he did? No, he wouldn't. So I thought that was, and I didn't even realize that was the young man from Your Honor, because I guess he has more hair, or his hair's different.
Yes,
his hair is different. So I didn't realize. Okay, so yeah, I do like him as an actor. He's a really good actor. So. But I enjoyed the whole thing. I love that Ellie and Joel are getting closer. I love the parts where she was doing the joke book and she was trying to make it lighter. I thought that was a good touch, because you see them getting closer and closer, and she really is starting to care about him. He already cares about her, but he's still got to be kind of, tough about it, but he does love her. He does. And the only thing I disagree with what Chris said is I believe if his daughter, I think her name was Sarah, right? If she was still alive in the same situation where Ellie had to shoot someone to save her dad, I think he would have taught Sarah how to shoot, because it's to save her life, the same way he did it with Ellie. Because you know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant like in pre-pandemic, if Sarah ever said,
no, of course not.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but after that, of course, he definitely
Right,
would, because he knows. I mean, they're both vulnerable. Anything could happen at any moment. And Ellie shooting, what was very, very upsetting was when she did shoot him, and she saw what she did. That's when like all the blood rushed out of her face. And that the young lady who plays Ellie did a great job with that scene. Like, you saw the impact of shooting someone. And that is what Joel did not want for her. He did not want, but in reality, how long was he going to be able to keep that, away from her? You know what I mean? They're living, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're living a day-to-day, am I going to live or am I going to die kind of situation, right? So, but so I enjoyed the whole thing. I don't, but everything Chris said, I agreed with. I just loved it. I think they're doing a really good job with this, and I think the actors are phenomenal. All of them are phenomenal. And that little boy, oh my gosh, Sam, phenomenal. At I don't even know his real age. I'm sure he's probably not aged, probably older, but he did a really good job. He did, because it's hard to play deaf. I mean, if you think about it, think about the fact that
you can instinctively respond when you hear noises. For him not to do that, to be like you can't hear certain things, but you're like, what about move. You still it's instinctual when you actually can't hear.
Right, exactly.
To be trained enough to so people think, he can't hear, he's deaf, right? Like, that's why he didn't respond to certain things. It's hard.
That's hard. That's hard. So I don't know if the little boy may be deaf in real life or what.
He is. He
is. Okay, so they turned off his hearing aids. They had to, because he didn't react.
In the podcast, they even put it out.
See, I haven't listened to that yet. Okay.
Yeah. It was. I actually kind of listened to it. It was awesome how they even found the kid. When you look at it, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna listen to it. Their podcast is really good.
Yeah,
it's really, really good. So, and I didn't know that they do something after the show for this too. I didn't. They have discussions about the show after the show.
Yeah, the after. So like they did for House of the Dragon. Like, it's like it's not as long as the podcast, so they'll give you a few minutes of like going into the episode. Yeah.
I need to start watching that, because I saw it where I was like, oh, I didn't even watch that. Yeah, it goes deeper, which I love. So yeah, but So go ahead, Jamani. I don't want to talk. My rant is over.
What you got, Jamani?
So much for these past 2 episodes. I think I'm gonna start walking back some of what I said not even a week ago when we were talking on Sunday. Some of my criticisms about episode 3. I'm kind of seeing how what the show is, the style that the show is going in, and why they're doing some of the things that they're doing, and kind of understand what the show is now. But to start off, I must say I'm betrayed by the lack of betrayal in this show.
Please explain.
Chris, you got to know what I'm talking about. I'm like,
say that again?
All right, I'm betrayed by the lack of betrayal that we see in the show.
Oh,
right.
Well,
we didn't see Frank betray Bill, right? And now we don't see Henry betray Joel. I'm like, they were.
When he abandoned.
I thought we was gonna, when they're getting shot at, and he does like a little pump fake or whatever, like he's gonna run off, but he doesn't, and then that's all. That's the closest we get to betrayal. Like, they actually end up basically drowned in a river, and Henry has to pull them out.
That's right. I forgot about that, actually. That's right. I forgot he did betray him.
Wait, who betrayed who?
Henry was like going to ditch both Joel and Ellie and say, screw this, Sam, we're out of here. Like, Sam was like, no, shoot. And then like literally Joel and Ellie was to their own, they nearly drowned. And then I guess Sam told Henry like, yo, we gotta save him. And then Henry basically kind of grabbed him out the water. They basically had like a nice little brawl because of that, or almost had brawl because he betrayed them. But I think in the show, I guess they want you to love them. They want you to love. Anytime you love someone, just be like, I need to get my guard up. Like when Joe's throwing bodies in the burn pad or whatever. Yeah, I think that's why they did that, Jamani. I think because they want you to love them.
I guess like they didn't have enough time for you to get invested in because they're only in one episode. Like they have a cameo in episode 4 for 2 seconds, but I'm like, they're only in episode 5. So it's like, you can't get people to invest in them, betray them, and then be invested in them, their ending the way that they end at the end. Like it would be too hard to do in one episode. So I guess I understand why they just took that out. But as far as the way that the show is going, they're doing secular storytelling, right? And it's like, I'm watching this and I'm like, you're doing a storyline that is going to happen later with other characters. And I'm like, for people who haven't played the game, you're going to get people to like be invested in like how they were invested in episode 3 and be like, this is so emotional. And then when it happens with the actual name characters or main characters, they're going to be like, you will have already shot your load. It's going to be like, yeah, I've seen this already with these other characters. But the creators or the showrunners are like trying to have this snowball effect while they give it to you in little doses and then you see it with the big characters later, was what I was thinking. I'm like,
oh, you mean the second game? I got
what
you're saying.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
because I'm saying
I won't say too much, but you're right.
It's the exact
same character and everything too.
It's every because I'm saying when you look at what when Henry told the story to Joel, right? Because think he's gonna do the exact same thing, right? Almost, right? So it was like he just said, "Oh, I think it's time for us to go." He just like he didn't like he just it's like when they say that you're like a cumulative amount of your actions or the people that you are, the people that you know and stuff like that. It's just like he knows that he identifies with this on a certain level and that he will eventually end up doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I caught that too. I was like, some foreshadowing here. I was like, well,
and I'm saying as far as the foreshadowing goes, it goes way further than that, right? Because I'm really starting to think about it, right? And I'm like, first episode, right? I think they shot the first episode, like the way that the first episode was, like it was supposed to be 2 episodes and they made it 1 episode. That whole first episode, right? I think they based the whole show going forward off of that. Like it was a pilot. Like we have to recreate this in every story going forward, right? Because you see them on the road and they're like, there's a kid. Are we going to stop? Keep going, right? Then they get stopped by the military and they're like, they got a kid with them. And whoever is on the other end is like, keep going, just kill him anyway, right? And then the same thing repeats again when they're with, when they get Elliot and then Ellie actually kills the guy before they even get a chance to get to that point. So it's like they're telling the same story and as you see it happening in like different variations over and over again. So that's kind of more or less what they're going to do. They're going to show it to you once and then you're going to see it again bigger and again bigger. And it's just going to change and vary.
That could be. Oh, we got some comments. Hold up. Let me know when you start episode 5 so I can leave. We're gonna do episodes 4 and 5 together so far. Glad you guys are liking it. Good to see you guys talk positive about a show for once. Ha 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 ha. That is rare. That is rare. That is rare. We do it for what is worthy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a good show. We have thoughts. I do have some issues, but overall it's a great show. I seen the interview with the kids, and the little boy wasn't talking, so I think he was deaf in real life. He is apparently. I need more gore. I think so. What Chris was talking about the bloater and stuff. I guess you want to see more of that.
I guess they must not have seen episode 5 yet.
Well, no, I mean, but I'm saying, I mean, even with Chris, like even what Chris said, like to see the
when you're caught,
like rip the heads off, like it was far.
Yeah, Jumanji in the game. Have you ever got caught by a bloater?
Yeah.
Or what about the Rat King? You ever get caught by the Rat King?
Oh, the rat! I can't. I'm like, I hope they don't go the CGI route with that. I'm like, I
don't know how else they can do a Rat King. I know I was surprised to see a somewhat practical effect version of the bloater because I was impressed with the clickers, and then they did the bloaters, and I was like, okay, what are they gonna do with?
Okay, was that someone in an outfit? Was that CGI?
Apparently, it was both. So I listened to podcasts, and it was a mixture of both. It was
okay.
It was practical.
Are they supposed to be that big? Because to me, he was very large.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like at least bloaters like. What the whole thing with bloaters, so like you have different stages of infection, and only those people not everyone can just become a bloater. The way it is someone who gets infected who is like usually like massive, or maybe someone who's like really strong. Think of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, right? And he gets infected. Someone like just randomly or whatnot. That's why. Yeah. And if they can survive very long, those people will evolve even further and can survive even further to the point where they become bloaters, where it could just create like the fungi can actually go into their muscles, and it creates like this armor for them in a sense. That's why you saw homie shooting at them and it was doing absolutely nothing. Like you have to literally it only works if you shoot them in the head or you throw a Molotov cocktail at their ass. You know what I mean? And it's so there's not a whole lot of bloaters everywhere. They exist, but they're kind of scarce, you know what I mean? And then you got the Rat King, which they might do second season on Rat King. I don't see them doing that in this season. That's a little overkill.
Yeah. That's not until Seattle. So.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I don't know. It must be Killer Sally under that. Must have became a
Killer Sally. Yeah.
I thought the action was really well done. Like to see like Joel like with the pistol, like again like being the sniper, like protecting Ellie, and she's like running through like the infected.
That is directly from the game. That is that was like fan service right there.
I was glad they did that too. I was glad they kept that in there.
That shit was tight. To see her take out two like infected with a knife and shit, like she's like, I got this like commando style. I was like, all right, like I thought that was awesome. The humanization, or they're trying to give sympathy for everyone involved. Like Kathleen, you understand why she wants Henry so bad, like personally. Why that becomes the whole revolutionary team's mission is another story. But the fact that she's like, I'm going to murder this dude one way or the other, I was like, you understand that? Henry turning on everybody in the town, you understand that? So they both were doing, bad things for their own reasons, but they made an effort to kind of like, there's a reason why this shit's happening. And I was like, I like that. I thought that was good. Someone said, I thought it would have been interesting if they would have ran into some bandits, whatever, when they were sleeping. Like, cause she was like, hey, like Joel was like, hey, I got watch tonight, type of thing. Like if they would have been like some kind of like right there where they're like, hey, we got to kill these people, get out the way. Like he saves her, and then she saves him later when they get into the city. Like that would have been a good moment. Like Walking Dead, that would have been a moment. Like that's when they would have did something like that. Some
of the criticism that I saw online after last night's episode was there's no way in the world that those two necessary scenes would have happened. If he has the sniper, why didn't he shoot Kathleen while she was giving all this long speech or whatever? Yeah. And if they're in a high-rise building, right? How does Henry and Sam just stumble on the exact floor that they happen to be sleeping on?
No, he got followed. No, he followed them.
He didn't, but he followed them to know what.
No, podcast. No, it was they followed him.
Okay.
Watch the podcast. It like he they literally like was looking up and like followed him. But I don't know what it made it seem like some stuff maybe they had to cut. I don't know.
Yeah, they must have cut that because the episode made it seem like they were just randomly walking up.
They're like, oh, look who we have here.
And look, oh shit, look at this. And I was like, what?
Damn, my knees. I feel like I'm 56 years old too. Shit.
We got. I don't remember Kathleen in the video game. She was not in the video game. Like
no,
she
was
not.
character. She was made up. She was made up
to give the Kansas City people some storyline, some back.
Yeah, to make it to humanize it, which is fine, but yeah, it didn't work very well for me in a sense. She was cool.
She didn't work for me either. I wouldn't have followed this woman. Like it was
I
nothing about her that
the,
made me follow her. And then the part where they went and the ground was breathing, basically. Remember that part with the black?
Yeah.
And it was cracked up and stuff. And I was like, she totally ignored that, right? And was like, no, all I have, my blinders are on. I need to kill Henry. I need to kill him. The floor is breathing because there are, they're under there.
Down there.
Yeah, the infected are down there. This should have been a priority. Nope, she ignored it. And even the guy with her, he was like trying to tell her, like,
right.
That is the exact point that I was making, is that revenge, or like what the whole thing that about the sacrifice or the revenge aspect, it causes everybody to lose out. Like all of humanity loses because of your selfish.
He said, Jamani, keep it. He's like, don't.
I feel like you're getting into.
Don't spoil season 2. He's like, don't spoil.
I'm just saying that
I picked up on that too, and I was like, oh, I see what they're doing there, and okay. I was like, oh, this is very smart what they're doing with Kathleen's character and shit.
If we're even supposed to remember, again, there's gonna be many episodes probably before what you guys are talking about come around, and it's,
I don't know. They're moving pretty fast
know
episodes.
I'm saying there's only gonna be 4 more episodes in this season, and then next season it's probably gonna be like the same amount. So it's
they're already meeting up his brother in the next episode, and that ain't until like far into the game and the other one, you know what I mean, where you're meeting up with Tommy, and it's like,
So it could that be because they're trying to do this season is like the
game
first
one.
game 1, and then next season will be game 2. Is that why they're rushing it, kind of?
I guess
they said that. They said that.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Oh, they did. Okay.
They're like season 1 is supposed to be game 1. In essence.
Yeah.
Cool for her to be seen in this and Yellow Jackets, and for Henry to also be in a Showtime show. So it's interesting that both these actors switched channels to a better channel. Really, the ending. And
Bella's like, look, I'm already home, yo.
Right,
like
you and did guess not what? Just answer the call. I was like,
I bet she was happy that she's like, yes, I'm finally doing a scene in the dark where people can actually see in the action sequence.
They can actually see.
Oh shit! This is what season 8 of my show should have been like.
I don't get killed by a fucking dead dragon. That shit was hilarious. I was like, what is
that?
Happening?
Remind you when they were rushing out that freaking hole. That reminded me of like a show and a movie. It reminded me of Game of Thrones when the White Walkers, I guess, when the thing like turned a bunch of White Walkers and they got up and then just like stormed off.
Oh yeah.
As well as Lord of the Rings, which was like when the goblins came out the ground and they're just like running after the men full speed. I was like, and you're just like, oh shit. Like
it reminded me of World War Z.
Yeah,
that's
those
what
fuckers were just moving. You're like, you are all fucked. Like this
Remember
is
they trying to get up that wall and they were just all on top of each other.
They had to reshoot that. They actually went back and added that because people said people watched and said the movie was boring, and they actually went back and added that scene to give it something.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah. but the infected coming out that hole was awesome. Like I was like that shit, that's cinematic right there.
Yes.
When that truck went deeper, I was like, oh y'all fucked. And then all of a sudden, but it looked like they were organized. It looked like, especially when they turned and went back on like the people, like they went like it's almost like the bloater
right back to town or something. Yeah.
Like they were like leading them. Like the bloater was like, okay, let's go. Like let's. It's all. They looked very. It wasn't random. It looked random, but at some moments it looked like they were.
What I heard is that the bloater is their protection. Like the bloater can't infect. Right,
like a cave troll. We got a cave troll.
right? So the bloater protects those that do the infecting.
All right. Because it just especially when the people when Joel and crew were escaping, and the fact that the infected didn't keep on going, that they turned around and went after the town. It just like with in the city with Tess and them, how like again they kind of got the message that there were people and they organized themselves and came. Like it's like at times it looks like they worked together, and I thought that was, I don't know if that's in the game or on purpose, but it just seems like
are they, you said they're bloaters, right? So are they leaders too? Because are they
that
really
well organized?
Yeah.
I don't know. They never seemed like leaders. They were just more of like, sometimes you would have infected and all of a sudden you hear this big thing. It's like literally like the scene of Lord of the Rings where it's like it's not like really anyone leading anyone. It was just like infected, and then here's this big ass freaking bloater. And it's like the whole time you're trying, like your main threat is the bloater, but the infect is coming at you at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when the bloater's like doing this with his arm, sometimes they'll accidentally hit the infected folks too in the game. So I don't think they're not really
Connected.
They're not really leaders, just more of like, hey, we're all coming after you. You know what I mean? Like, like same with the clickers.
I did like the kid one, the one who jumped in the car with Ellie and like did the flip.
Did you see that Blue's Clues shirt? That was messed up. Why is she wearing Blue's Clues?
Yeah. I did not.
Yeah, she's a contortionist. Apparently, I saw the podcast. They found this young girl who's like they found like this TikTok video.
Yeah, she does.
She's like a contortionist or something.
Yeah.
That shit was legit.
When she got Kathleen. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that shit was awesome too. When she jumped on her, I was like,
I was so happy. I was so happy because it was a child that got her. I was like,
how ironic.
Yeah, exactly.
They said kids die. Kids die.
That's what
time.
They do.
I was like, all right, well, this dead kid gonna kill you.
Yeah,
I was like, that was good. Like that was dude that plays Henry was in your art. Yeah, he was Kofi. Yeah, we talked about that.
But can we talk about the whole thing with Kathleen though? So my other big issue is, yes, she wanted revenge, but my thing is she freaking knows it was for a kid, and I am sorry, but I know that is your brother and whatnot, but you telling me you don't even have an inch of empathy for this kid, Henry. You might never want to see Henry's face again. You might want to probably kick his ass or whatnot. But you're telling me that when it came to a kid, a little kid, right, that you can't just overlook what happened, especially when your brother said forgive, like, you know what I mean? Like forgive them or whatnot. It's just, I don't know. I think that's why the character didn't really work for me, because I'm just thinking like, I know that people in real life actually have revenge, but what if if the reason why the person did what they did is because this kid, like this 8-year-old kid, was about to die? You see what I'm saying? I don't know. And it just seemed like it was just.
But I'm we're gonna end up asking the same question about Abby later, because it's like there was a kid. She was gonna.
Yeah. But Abby's different. Abby was a kid herself when we get there.
Well, she feels like she's a kid to her brother.
That's different. That's different.
She is no longer a goddamn kid, and she was wrong. She was wrong. But I will say this: I believe there are people in the world who think like her. They absolutely do. So it's sad. Yeah. It's very sad, but it's true. There's a lot of people that think like that.
I'm not saying what he did like he's a good guy.
She's in Kansas City. Okay. So let me not we're not gonna go there, but I'm just saying we had two different shades. Okay.
Well, you know what, in the game they were originally supposed to be in Pittsburgh. It was supposed to be Pittsburgh. Yeah. It was supposed to be Pittsburgh, and they
okay, because Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. My sister went to college in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has some racial issues also. Yeah. And my son dated a woman, my younger son, who was in Pittsburgh. And when he wanted to go visit her, the family was like, if you bring that in here, he's going to die. So, they broke up. Pittsburgh is like where's Marky Mark from? Like what is he from?
Oh, Boston, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Boston. It's like Boston, yes. In certain parts of it, yes. You of all people, you have to see that. You don't see that?
I do not. the man got her brother killed, and she also murdered a white dude with no hesitation. Also sent her crew to
I'm not saying that she wouldn't
with
do
no
that,
hesitation.
So that means that she can't be racist. Growing up in
Why
Kansas
does she
City?
have to be racist? Like
she doesn't have to be. She doesn't have to be. But I'm just saying she could possibly be. I'm not saying it's absolutely. The same way you notice stuff, I can notice stuff too, and you don't have to agree with me. That's fine.
All right.
Okay.
I'm saying I guess because she was gonna murder Ellie and Joel just fine, and she didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, because they're gonna murder. She's gonna murder anyone helping him. Period.
So I'm like, anyway. So I mean, I just
that doesn't mean she's not
you mean like the freedom riders, right, Kim? Is that what you're saying? Like the freedom riders?
Quakers or
yeah. I'm stirring that. Yes, David, I'm stirring that tea.
But it was yeah. My to these great characters, I would say my biggest issue with the show is that like they're gone so quickly. Like they just move, and I'm like,
do you mean the
okay,
characters?
So all right, so let me. When I saw you on Monday, right? I was trying to impart that to you when you were saying, he could have done all this stuff as far as like a grave and all. You got your grave in this episode. I was trying to impart
and that's that bullshit.
There's gonna be a lot of opportunities.
That's that bullshit.
Like
I got it. They should have buried the men that he knew for years. Not two people he just fucking met.
Let me explain to you what. In the game, the burial was because Ellie wanted it. Ellie wanted it, and at that point, he got to the point where because of their relationship and because of it hit Ellie so hard to make her feel what Ellie is the reason why they were both buried to begin with. If it wasn't for her, those guys wouldn't have got buried either.
Wait. I'm gonna take umbrage with both of what you're saying because Ellie was like, "Let's go," when he was standing at the grave and was still looking down or whatever. She's like, "Let's go." Well, like he was still feeling sad or whatever about it because I think he is softening up, and that's what the whole thing is that he softens up throughout the course of the trip for him to come to a realization or make a big decision at the end of the journey. We're seeing this happen incrementally. You're not even though you're seeing people he knew early on, he's not gonna act that way with those people because he's still hardened. He's gonna soften up as we go.
We it's fine. We disagree on this, and I will accept that. But overall, it would be nice if the characters like had more time to develop.
Who actually played it?
Like again, dude, watch the fucking game. As someone said in the chat last week, like if all you want to see is a live action of the game, then go play the fucking game. Like this is supposed to be a show with.
What I'm saying is, it's not what it is.
I'm saying,
but that's like saying you go to a concert and you want to see them play it live. I don't want you to play the acoustic version where you over dramatize the song.
Jamani, we're not gonna agree on this, so let's just move on. All right, I'm saying like the critique is I want more time with these characters, or fuck these characters. Like just put Joel and Ellie on the street, have them kill people, and just get to the bloater and fucking the Rat King and let it be over with. Like I'm like, dude, I'm not getting invested. Like I'm tired. Like it's like this is getting on my nerves. Like I want characters who have some time. Just like you said, we didn't have enough time for Henry and Sam to mean something that when they betrayed Joel, you're like, oh my God, like, and that turns into something. We could have had some time. Like these are some decent characters. Give them more than one fucking episode. Like
I thought we were good. I mean, you're talking about 10 episodes thing. I think for what you have in the game and try to fit it in 10 episodes. Once again, I personally think it's good. Like now, if you want like some spinoffs, okay. I mean, I guess you do spinoffs, but there's no way you can do that. Do all these characters, and if anything, I feel like the way they expanded these characters, every single one of them, the way they already have already, it's just amazing all by itself. And especially knowing that they're only having 10 I say 10 episodes because 1 and 2 was together. You know what I mean? And it's just in order to kind of fit it in one season. You know what I mean?
You don't have to do that. Like they themselves say they want a season a game. That was their choice, right? I'm saying like you could have a story. I'm not.
Isn't that what you're asking for? Is Walking Dead now?
I'm asking for
that's what
show.
you want.
Yeah, I'm asking for a show. I'm not.
But Walking Dead. But remember
the
reason why Walking Dead
wound up ending video game. So like,
But Walking
yes,
Dead.
I'm asking for a show.
But Walking Dead, well, I mean, episode 3 was proof that it wasn't even a video game. So there's that.
Well,
I mean, but
episode 3 could have been extended. So I'm
even
I'm
more than the way they did. That was like a movie.
Hey, Chris, we already had this argument last time. I don't want to do this shit again. I'm like, we don't agree. All right, so got it. Anything else you want to talk about? Like, I'm not gonna do this with you. Like, anything else you want the show to go to?
Jamani, you first.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, we got like a movie again. Like, I like the way that they moved up this episode so that it's closer together.
Yes,
and it's sandwiched. And
yes.
I
they're
think
together. This is one story, and then they're gonna move on to the next story. Yeah. So that was a good idea.
I think some people had I see that some people had umbrage as far as like what like is when you see Tess and she succumbs to the cortisol or whatever. Yeah, and she has the kiss with the infected. I'm like, this dude who is with Kathleen might as well have done that because all he did was get off like a shot and a half and then end up getting killed. I'm like, there was no point in that. Why didn't he run right along with her? I'm like, I don't know what
oh, you're talking about the guy who's her right hand man?
Yeah.
Because he was trying to protect her. That's what his job was.
I'm like, he could have just ran with her.
I didn't get that either. I didn't get that. Like, this wasn't one of those, we got to stand my ground. No, we could both run and both live. And I can shoot while I'm running, but I'm not just going to stand there and get murdered. Like, that's.
Yeah, they did the whole Hollywood route where it was like, got to have the only one having the main antagonist being having the final say for the showdown. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just have Scar with the hyenas. It needs to just be Scar by himself facing against Simba. Like, what I'm saying? I think they just went the Hollywood route. And he's like, I got it. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised. They could have
did better. Like, again, other shows they've done it better. Like, they're running together. He protect her, and then like he don't see the infected get him, and then he gets killed, and he's like, run off. I got this. That type of thing. But like to make a last stand at that moment, I'm like, no. Like clearly the bullets ain't working, bro. So
I guess they were just trying to show. The only thing I think was just to show how tough the bloater was in the sense of like he could mow down any of these other infected, but the bloater, you ain't taking them down, not even with that assault rifle.
He was.
I guess that's the only reason why they went that route. I mean, I don't disagree with y'all. I'm just saying that's Hollywood wise. I think that's why they did that.
I like the old man murder because again, it showed that Joel he doesn't want to. Like he's like just listen. Like
they changed that too. Jamani, did you catch that?
Yeah.
Because in the game, like when So it's like a whole mission. It's like you got to find the sniper. He was a much better shot in the game, right? You know what I mean? And you're like going around trying to find this guy, and then you go into the door, and it's this much younger guy like attacks him. It's this whole thing where you're like attacking him, beating him, he's beating you,
okay,
and then finally you like kill him, right? And then you take his sniper rifle, and then that's when you get the whole like what you saw on the show where you're taking the tanks out and taking out the infected.
They wanted to give him a sympathetic moment. They want to give him.
They were trying to show that he's coming back. He's coming back from the 20 years that he lost. I think that's how they put in the podcast, saying like, especially like after the letter from Bill, that became that started a whole thing with Joel, and essentially it kind of messed him up, essentially, to the point where he did not want to have the feels that he had pre 20 years back. And now he's starting to degrade himself in the sense that even when you saw Ellie and Sam play soccer, because his daughter played soccer. I don't know if y'all caught this, but when he saw them play soccer, he looked at his broken watch.
Oh.
As well as when she started doing the jokes or whatnot, and he was like kind of smirking, you notice he did a small little thing at his watch.
Yeah.
Again, I was like, yo, that was so cool how they did like small little moments like that.
Yeah, because they're developing his character. His character
I must say that when we get next episode, and if it's like the game, right, with Tommy, you can understand why he says what he says to Tommy, because he's like, I don't like coming back and having these feelings.
Yeah.
Wait, Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy.
His brother.
Tommy's brother, his little brother.
Yeah.
He's gonna say something to Tommy, and you're gonna understand. It's like he really.
Oh wait, so I haven't seen that yet, right? Yeah, so I don't want you to say it.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just saying that he's not comfortable becoming more vulnerable.
Feeling again. He's not comfortable feeling again.
It's hard for him to feel again. Well, that makes sense. That would make sense to anyone that's been through what he's been through. Yeah. So I think that's good. That's showing character development.
Yeah.
I like that they are showing Joel is changing, Ellie is changing, their relationship is changing. So I do like the character development between them. And I do understand what David is saying as far as like Henry and Sam could have extended their time, I think, just to give us more of a relationship between them, because I think they were really good characters. They even could have extended this whole thing with what's her name, Catherine or Kathleen or whatever.
Yeah,
I think they could have extended that just a little bit more, so we could get to like I mean.
Seeing her as a real leader at some point.
Because she really was a terrible leader. Like even when she sat down and was talking to the people who are betrayers, whatever she called them. I was like, for me personally, I don't think I'd be afraid of her. I would be more afraid of not just because he's a guy, but the guy who was protecting her with the gun, the one that plays Tommy in the video game. But I feel like his presence, his demeanor was more. I felt more fear from him than from her. I feel like for her, all she's focused on is revenge. But there's other things that are going on around her where she actually needs to protect the people she's trying to lead, and she ignored that. Like all of her people died because of her little revenge plot. Like she ignored everything around.
That's why she didn't really work for me that much because of that.
She's not a good leader. She's not.
But I'm saying she's not a leader in the sense that she's been leading these people. The revolution or them taking over hasn't even been 2 weeks yet.
That's true.
Yeah, but I feel like they should have extended it.
Her taking over was out of the death of her brother. So she's like, finding Henry is not 7th on my list. It's number 1 because that was always my mission. Me taking over from Fedra was the mission because of my brother dying. So she's still on that.
See, when she
hasn't had time to become a leader.
Well, no, that's not. When she was talking to the henchman made it to me, explained that your brother was a good dude, but he didn't change anything. You're the one that got us here. Like she is the one that got them together and got the revolution to happen. Like it was
off of the back.
That's your honor. That's basically your honor. That's basically the mother in your honor is like, I'm hell bent on revenge and I'm about action. Whereas you have people who are like, okay, I'm more tactful and I'm going to try to be more diplomatic with people and I might not get there as fast and as quick. But if you're vengeful and you have that motivation, you're going to act on it and stuff is going to happen very quickly. You might fail at the end, but stuff is going to start happening very quickly.
I understand, we didn't get enough of the story to even explain how did she become leader? How long has she been leader? Was she the one that led the true revolution, and her brother was just kind of hyping everybody up? Like none of that. It's like the governor, like in Walking Dead, like she's like a similar character, and but they got time
Negan or something.
Negan or fucking Negan. Like you had time to get there, but also her quiet demeanor, Kim, is why she works in Yellow Jackets, because you didn't think she'd be the one out there chopping up a fucking rabbit and then feeding it to. And it's like, hi, I just murdered my boyfriend. Like it's like you don't see it until she pulls out that gun and shoots this fucker, and then she just moves on and like, hey, let's see what's next. Like it makes her more scary because you don't really see it coming. But I mean, they just didn't develop her enough. We didn't have.
I felt like Kim, what you were saying about Sam and Henry expanding maybe more, having another episode with him. Yes. I don't know if you could save Kathleen's character though.
No. I'm not saying her, but I'm just saying if you're gonna have her, right? What I'm saying about Sam, like what you guys were saying about the betrayal portion of Joel and Henry, right? When you said that there was a water scene and then Sam was like, you have to save them or whatever. they could have given us that scene at least, right? To give us just
I agree with
more,
that.
right?
I just Kathleen, they could just leave.
But with Kathleen, I feel like if you're gonna give us this character who's supposed to be this revolutionary leader or whatever, I just felt like it wasn't enough for me to. I just felt like she's just going after this for all the wrong reason, and her brother to me took, from what it sounds like, took care of the people, right?
Right.
And made sure that everything was okay. She is not on that tip. She was, and I wanted to know, I understand why she was doing it because of the revenge of the brother, but I still wanted more of the character to really get into the nitty gritty. And I think that little thing that they did in the bedroom was to give us more, but for me, it just wasn't enough. Yeah. Like when she was talking about the relationship with her brother, I was like, okay,
the lightning thing,
like and
we didn't even see this dude. Like who is the brother? Like show us. Like anyway.
Yeah, I think this is comparable that we didn't say. It's brother for brother too.
That's true. I get that.
That it was
brother for brother, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I think I was written. I think that was supposed to be implied, though. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that was supposed to be like, what wouldn't you do for your brother, or what wouldn't you do for your brother? I mean, I have a feeling in the next episode with Tommy, we're going to get a flashback, and we'll see what won't he do for his brother. Like it's you know what I mean? I think that's the whole thing. But
it's all about these relationships.
And not only that, and I hate to just, I mean, it's going to sound bad what I'm about to say, right? But Kathleen, her voice. I'm sorry, her voice. Because it sounds so sweet. I will never find you threatening. Like I felt like that doctor was challenging her in the fourth episode. She's like, "You ain't gonna pull that trigger. I delivered your ass." Like I was like, "Yo, no joke." If that was Perry putting out the gun, he's like, "Oh, sir, I'll tell you everything." Oh, yeah, that kid was up in the roof. He was putting Superman comics up there, and they're eating out beans and all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't know her character. I agree. Sam and Henry, yes. More than one episode, and even but not even just betrayal stuff, but there was other stuff where you see Sam, you see Henry also helping Joel fight off the zombies and whatnot. But I guess this one, he's never killed anyone. So I was like, oh, that's a switch. You know what I mean? Also kind of made it sadder as far as who he wound up killing. You know what I mean? But like you can expand them easily. Just Kathleen, man. I don't know. I don't know if just expanding her to
be Gus Fring-esque. Like she's a bad guy in a calm way. Because when I love the scene where she's talking to the doctor and he's like, but they had guns. I did it because they had guns to my head. But do you feel more comfortable now?
Like
it didn't seem threatening though. I mean, obviously anyone with a gun to your head is gonna be threatening, but she did not seem threatening, is my point.
until she pulled the trigger. Until I was like, wow. I mean,
I guess.
Did you know she was married to Jason Ritter?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That.
Well, I didn't. Well, so I think they do some Walking Dead magic.
Is that John Ritter's son?
Ellie and Joel will be like about to die at the end of episode 9. Then next season, first 5 episodes will be Tommy. Okay.
What? That don't sound right.
I was like, I don't know. I didn't. I'm assuming you're basing that on the game. At that point,
that's not how the game.
So I don't know, but anyway. So
can we talk about the Ellie and Sam? That was a change. We didn't get that in the game, and I'm like, I kind of liked that. It was more child because they, she doesn't know the matter of her immunity. And it was very child-esque that she thinks that she could fix it.
Yeah,
that was
so sad.
I was offended for it being Black History Month. I was offended her doing a little white savior moment. Like, I could save you. I could save you, little black boy, white savior.
No, I don't think that's what that was.
On
that
Black History, doing Black
now
History.
You don't want to bring race into this.
There's a Black.
No, because I don't think that's what it was. I think it was her being naive.
The whole time she's like, I can set you free.
Yes. And she didn't know. I think that she did it because she doesn't realize, like people are telling her that she's special because of what, that she's not affected, right? So in her mind, she's still a childlike.
What about the other
very
white dudes?
childlike.
The other white
And
dudes.
she's thinking, I can
say,
save
stay in this
him.
attic. Do like Anne Frank used to stay up here. Come on, little black kids. Go up here. You stay up here. You be safe. I'll be back now.
I don't think that's.
I'll be back.
So that's the Underground Railroad.
I was like, that was some Anne Frank.
I was like,
Underground Railroad. Protect these black people at all costs. Like
Underground Railroad, they were in the tunnels.
I was like, it was
yeah, they were in the tunnels. You're right.
You're right.
To
the blood issue, I did like the child logic of it, to be like, because I think at some point they're gonna be like, her blood is special. Well, I'll just take her blood and see how that works out. And it'd be like, she was like, well, let me try this. But I knew they were fucked. And when they were under the truck and the infected was biting at them, I'm like, I've seen this in every zombie thing we watched. One of them is bitten, and it ain't gonna work out. And I was like,
I knew the little boy when they actually ran away with the little. I was like, he got touched. I knew it right off. I knew it wasn't gonna be Henry. I knew it was gonna be the little boy because of what Henry went through for the little boy. The boy he had to die. He had to. And when he killed him, oh my God, the tears were ridiculous. I was like, I just cried, and I was like, had to take a moment.
I thought the lines that Henry did, like compared to the game, to this, I thought what they did in the show was better in the sense of Henry's lines once he realized he shot his brother, right? In the game, he's like more of like, looked at Joe like, what did you do? This is your fault. This is your fault. And then this one, he's like, because he was just instinct. He sees a kid that's on the ground, that's in trouble, and he just shot at him. And then just hit him like randomly, like he's distraught, like, wait, that was my brother. And he's like, what the hell did I do? What did I do? You know what I mean? That was more the game was convincing by itself, but the way they did this, this is like, I could see this happening to anyone, like in the sense of like you being forced to take someone out, especially like what you think is your purpose, right?
Yeah.
You just pull the gun on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting that they just kind of cut away from that, which I was like, oh shit, I
didn't want to see that. Absolutely.
Well, they did that in the game too.
Oh yeah, but it did a fat. Okay, well, I won't say just in case. I think, well, the trailer next episode kind of shows that they're doing the same thing as the game apparently in the next one. So,
but like in the game, you get the season marker. It'll say like
the season marker. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's one thing I've been missing about with this show. They would say so many days later or years before, or whatever, but they have not done the season thing. Now we're finally getting the season thing, but sorry, already halfway towards the end of the season, but of the show, but whatever,
All right, Kim, anything else before we go?
Nope, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. As long as I have tissue, I'll be fine. Because it's a tearjerker for me. So, but I love it. I love the show. I like everything about it. So I'm just gonna keep watching. Yeah.
The next episode is called Kin, isn't it? Isn't it the next one called Kin? Like K-I-N? Yeah, K-I-N, I thought. Yeah.
She thought what?
So that'll be cool. I mean, seeing how the show is going, I'm looking forward to see Tommy's backstory as far as how he went there. Like, I mean, you in the game, he talks about it. He talks about like all the stuff and why him and Joe, but the whole time I'm playing the game, I'm like, damn, but like what actually happened? You know what I mean? And seeing the show, I'm pretty sure, like looking at how they're doing with everything else, it'll be awesome to see like a nice little flashback as far as like what happened to kind of screw up kind of create this big rift between Tommy and Joel. You know what I mean? That Joel wound up joining the Fireflies, and then he just joins Marlene, and then now goes to this other colony. Oh, and they showed homegirl from True Blood. Apparently, is going to be in the next episode. The black girl, the one who keeps cussing up.
Oh,
the storm.
Yeah.
I guess that would be Tom. Is that Tommy's wife?
The girl from Queen Sugar.
Yeah, Maria. Yeah. She was white in the game, but I saw this girl, the black girl from True Blood hanging around Tommy. I was like, oh, maybe that's her. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see.
But anyway, we'll see.
Remember, there's an invasion or something like that when
She's playing Maria.
I don't. Okay. So
okay. Well, there you go. There's your answer. So you're right, Jamani. Right. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Anything else, Jamani?
Prepare for some horseback. I'm like, I don't know why we I don't know that we're gonna see horseback. Like we haven't seen it before on the East Coast or but now this is what the
We're
mode
on
of
the horse
transportation is
country.
going to be.
Yeah, I'm
going
looking
forward.
at Joel on a horse right now for episode
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember even in the game, and I think they did that in episode 4, which I thought was a nice attention to detail, that when cars are sitting idle for years, that gas breaks down, and it creates this water where you need to accumulate such amount of gas, aka water, just to fill up in one vehicle. And you don't see that with shows. Like shows, they just siphon gas or whatnot. Like, we're good. Like Walking Dead is infamous for that, obviously. You know what I mean? But no one's going to really pay attention to it. But the small attention details I appreciate, as well as the whole him not being able to hear.
Well, Walking Dead, I think it was more recent after the outbreak. This is 20 years, so
That's
this
true.
is more accurate.
That's
the
true.
longer
I guess
it
just a
went
couple of
on.
years.
Yeah, it's only a couple of years. If each season was basically the summer of a year, so they would skip almost like to the next summer, depending how they did it. So but it was relatively just that. Yeah.
Right. But you keep a car around for 4 or 5 years, which I think is what at least Walking Dead is. Like that's not good for your. That's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so, hell, your car will go idle after 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, or it could, depending on what type. If you got diesel, that's one thing, but. That and then even the whole right ear being kind of him going deaf and him keep sleeping on it. Now that explains why in that first episode he did not hear Tess come in when she was sleeping back to him. He didn't realize she was there, and I was like, oh, he slept on his right ear. I was like, oh, I see what they did. I was like, that was so smart.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for these first 5 episodes. How are we gonna do the next 5 episodes? I am going back and forth. I told the guys we're just gonna do the last 5 as one review. Because I was irritated with the limited character development. To be open and honest with the team, I will think about that because we won't be doing a review next week anyway. Because this episode is the episode we would have been reviewing next week. I hope HBO does start putting everything out on Friday at least or something. They're not, but it would be nice if they would do that. Because they're still treating the online platform like a cable show in the 80s. Like this doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, because they want your ratings first. See, that's the thing. They want your ratings first when you watch it live, which is why typically when they put these episodes of Last of Us, you got to watch. They know that a lot of people just want to watch it live, and then just like Game of Thrones, then they'll put on HBO Max, right? So I feel like they're trying to go for that raise. And unfortunately, to your point, I agree in the sense of like I think it'll be better if they put on Fridays, but they know ratings wise, it will do shit. You know what I mean? What ain't no show come on Friday. But
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not denying it.
I got you. But they're still going for that. They still think it's 1988. I'm like, it's not. Like
to your point, I would like to see the numbers for Friday compared to like Sunday.
Sunday compared to Sunday.
Yeah. I would. That's what I want to see because then that will probably tell us a lot. Maybe.
Hopefully they take some cues from this and at least put it out at 12 o'clock or like
that they ain't doing that again. They're like, no, this is 8 o'clock prime time. I got my popcorn. Somebody has cable turned on cable TV, and they were gonna turn. I'm like, that's what they're doing.
It's like Jamani, what you think we are, stars
or Showtime or every other channel? I was
Epics?
like, but like, damn it, Epic, MGM. But
we must still have some AOL people MGM. Working there from that merger.
Oh, they got that. So schedule. So I didn't post a schedule today. It's quite different. But anyway, we're about to do Your Honor. If you guys want to stick around for that, tomorrow we're doing Godfather of Harlem, Mayor of Kingstown, and All the Queen's Men.
And Super Bowl predictions.
Who y'all got? Godfather of Harlem. If that's what Chris wants to do.
My prediction: Rihanna's going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
Put your favorite Rihanna song in the chat.
Oh, there you go. Put it in the comment of the video because we're about to wrap this thing up.
Real boy for the win.
Bitch better have my money.
I don't know if they can play that. They ain't gonna play that. They'll be like, censor her right now. This is worse than Janet Jackson.
She didn't get paid. I mean, she didn't get paid.
She doesn't get paid.
So what they gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah.
I was like,
they can bleep her. They can absolutely bleep her.
Yeah.
Continuously keep bleeping her.
Over and over again.
Yes.
She could do that Black Panther song.
No,
they're probably gonna want something more upbeat though.
Did y'all hear T.I.'s daughter sing that?
Well, Kim, what'd you say?
T.I.'s daughter, Eris, the little one, she sang that song and she did a really good job.
She
can sing like her mom. Yeah. And I think she's only like 5 or 6 or something. And she did a really good job. Yeah.
It's cuter when they're young.
Yes.
And then they grow up and you're like, oh, what happened?
No,
like,
her mom can actually sing. So I'm thinking that the daughter may be, they may be on to something with that. Yeah.
It's in the genes. Just like diarrhea. Just like diarrhea.
Gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard.
Beyonce's daughter is, that's a different story because that child can't sing, dance, nothing. Like she gets nothing from her parents.
I'm just saying that's rough though. It's like
that is rough.
It's like being Jordan LeBron's
to be
kid.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's child, and you have no talent.
You got no talent. Hey. I got money. I don't need
that
talent.
reminds me of Michael Jordan's son when he was like playing ball, and they were like, "Well," and he's like, "I quit. Just too much pressure." So
it's too much pressure. It's too much pressure. If you ain't triple platinum, you're gonna be like, you ain't shit. Yeah. Like your mama like runs the Grammys now. It's like, oh damn it.
Yeah, I know. True. I didn't think of it from that aspect. That's gotta suck. I guess
it does
because they look at you like you on Instagram now singing now. Right now, I can't do that shit.
Well, we talking about Blue Ivy. We haven't seen her sell drugs. She could be Blue Magic. You know, that could be her legacy.
Look at you, Jamon. That was a good one.
With two parents that are billionaires, I don't think she needs to sell drugs.
That wouldn't work. Now maybe she should go to acting. She should act. There you go. Because at least her mama can't act, so that would be her strength. So that would be Blue Ivy's strength.
Yeah. She gets her first Oscar. She's like, I don't need a Grammy. I got an Oscar.
Yep. Weed is legal. Weed is legal now, and her father does own a lot of those dispensaries.
He does, yeah.
Good point.
And she has his face, so she might be okay.
Oh, it's legal. You said it's legal. Nah, she's legal.
Did she got what?
She has his face.
Oh,
her
yeah.
His face.
Yeah. You can definitely see the genes.
Yes, absolutely.
That's interesting. Yeah,
it's just like Kanye's daughter. She looked.
But I can see a female version of Kanye. It's hard to see a female version of Jay-Z. Just like you see Ice-T's daughter. Ice-T's daughter looks
just like him.
Just like him.
I'm like, is she gonna do a car shield commercial too? Like,
car shield and
car shield.
We are getting off track. Anyway, catch us up for your honor right after this as we talk about why we even doing this. We don't know, but we will get through it. Please like this video, comment and stuff. Let me know in the comments. Do you want to still do it episode by episode? Do you want to just kind of wrap up the last 5? I will take your comments in consideration. Let's see how I feel. And we also got a lot of content coming. We got Snowfall coming. We got a lot of new shows about to hit the airways.
We might do Ant-Man depending on how good or how much it sucks.
Chris will go see it. If he tells me I need to go, I say it.
I'm gonna see on Thursday.
If Kang the Conqueror is not in this movie more than I've seen him in the previews, if you don't go say, David, there's more stuff than the previews, I'm not watching that movie. I give no
for real?
about
Damn,
Ant-Man.
You don't think?
I feel like Kang is pretty much what you see in the previews.
You don't think he's going to be in? Okay, all right. I'll let you know. I think he's going to be in a good bit. But okay. Damn.
I was like, no, man, I'm off the Marvel train. I just can't see it because Marvel's up there. That's not what we're doing in this phase. I was like, it needs to be something. And fuck Ant-Man. It's basically the Ocean's movies. I was like, he's gonna be doing a quantum heist. Betty says that silly shit. But at some point, he's like, we'll do a quantum heist. All right. If he says
it's gonna be like Star Wars. It's gonna be like Star Wars where he's like in a different world now. So if anything, you'll probably get a line like, my friend over there, he don't like you. I don't like you. We're wanted men. Like you'll probably get that.
Baby.
And if Bill Murray doesn't have a line in there where he's like, it doesn't come off cringe, we'll see. Yeah.
He said, I ain't afraid no ghosts in the quantum realm. He'll say some shit. I don't know. Anyway.